And as the world remembers and celebrates the life of Nelson Mandela, the reaction to his passing has certainly gripped Washington, D.C. In fact, D.C. is the official site of the U.S. celebration of Nelson Mandela's life. Craig Boswell is live at the South African Embassy with more tonight. Hi, Craig.
Nicole, good evening to you. During this period of mourning for Nelson Mandela, there will be nightly vigils here at the South African Embassy. We're just moments away from tonight's getting underway. Obviously, it's being moved inside because of the weather. The flowers and tributes pile up outside the South African Embassy in Washington, D.C. It's the focal point for the outpouring of love and respect for Nelson Mandela.
It's a celebration of the life of an extraordinary man. And it just makes me very emotional to see people coming with flowers and signing books, and it's great.
Emotions are high inside the embassy too.
Even though we have anticipated that Nelson Mandela will not be with us forever, we can't help but be shocked at his passing.
The ambassador, along with D.C. Mayor Vincent Gray, reflected on the history and connections between the city and Mandela and the fight against apartheid.
You see, he mattered to people in the District of Columbia. So many of our residents participated frequently in protests and demonstrations, even being arrested at the South African Embassy.
Paul Strauss was one of those arrested during the protests in the 80s.
We knew we would be arrested. We deliberately put ourselves in jail here in D.C. to try and get Mr. Mandela out of prison in South Africa.
He also noted today's nasty weather and recalled the stormy day last September when the Mandela statue was unveiled from underneath a covering.
A gust of wind sort of mystically blew a piece of it away, exposing his outstretched fist. And it was almost as if he himself was unveiling his own statue.
That statue is an exact replica of one standing outside the South African prison where Mandela was held for 27 years. There are also deeper and more personal connections between Mandela and millions of Americans.
You know, in this country, we went through our own form of apartheid, the segregation, the racial segregation that we experienced in this nation.
After speaking, it was all about the written words, as one by one, people signed books of condolences, placing their names among the millions worldwide, hoping to be a mention in one of the many chapters in the life of one of the world's greatest leaders. There will be a memorial service for Nelson Mandela at the National Cathedral next Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Nicole, back to you.
All right, he certainly had touched the lives of many. Thank you very much, Craig.